Story 1. Not me, but my parents. They met when my mother was 14 and my father was 16. They married at 23 and 25, built a house together, had a couple of children, and were very happy until cancer took my father about 20 years ago. They had been married for over 30 years. My mother never remarried, never even dated, and still misses him every single day. Story 2. I never did, but a close family member married their preschool sweetheart. They went through every grade together, got married when he was 17, went off to military duty, came back 8 years later with 2 children, stayed together another 14 years, and then he passed away recently from cancer at age 37. Rest in peace, cousin. I loved that man. He cared only about his sweetheart and children. The rest could wait. Story 3. 12 years together so far. It has its ups and downs, but it is an amazing experience being with someone while you are both growing and discovering who you are. Story 4. Great. Started dating at 14 and 15. Broke up for 1 year in college but stayed close during that time. Together for 17 years but married for only 2 of them due to putting education first. Would not change a thing. He is the love of my life. I got the privilege of watching him as a boy, a student, a man, and now a husband. Anytime I thought we were ready to be married earlier, he or I would learn another life lesson that brought us closer and matured us in a way that strengthened our bond and compatibility. We have always given each other the space to accomplish the things we want and grow as we go. It has been a very nurturing and fulfilling aspect of my life. Story 5. 39 years. It's kind of cool that almost all of our life memories are together. It's been awesome. We have been a team that puts each other first since age 17. Story 6. Coming up on our 32nd wedding anniversary next week. Not only were we high school sweethearts, we also got pregnant in 11th grade and had a son. We both graduated on time. I went on to get an associate degree and we got married a couple of weeks after that. We eventually had another child, a daughter, 15 years after the first. I earned my Bachelor of Arts in 2021. Our son has a son now who just turned 1, and our daughter is a rising college junior. It has not always been perfect, and we had a lot to learn, but we could not imagine it any other way. Also, a side note, shout out to my daughter who will probably see this post. Story 7. We just celebrated our 13-year anniversary last week. 19 years total, including dating years. We have 2 young children and love each other a little more each day. Well, maybe not every day. More than anything else, marriage is a choice. You have to wake up and choose your spouse's needs above your own. There are many days when this is tough and you may fall short, but it is far easier to make this choice daily when you marry your best friend. All the rest you figure out together. Laughter is important. Almost all divorces among our friend couples share one thing in common. Their marriages lacked the ability to poke fun and joke with each other. Story 8. Every person that I have encountered who married their high school sweethearts made it to about the 12 to 18-year mark and ended up divorcing. I wonder how many would get back together after experiencing the dating scene, but still. Story 9. It has been 38 years. It turned out well, but I do not recommend getting married at ages 20 and 21 as we did. Story 10. My parents have known each other since they were 5 years old. They grew up on the same street together as children in suburban Illinois. They were on and off throughout their early adult life but ultimately settled down and had 2 children. I lost my father this past year at 65 years old, and needless to say, my mother is absolutely devastated, as am I. To know and love someone for 60 years and then have them gone is unimaginable. The pain she is dealing with cannot be described. Hug your loved ones today. Story 11. Thanks for asking. It's going really well. My husband and I started dating on my 16th birthday. We were together for 6 years before we got engaged, had a 2-year engagement, and married 8 years after we started dating. In that time, he was in the Army and deployed twice to Iraq, then Afghanistan. I went to college, then graduate school. We lived our lives separately but together. For a while, we spent more time apart than not. We were married for 6 years before we had our first child, which was the right decision. We got to be kids and have fun before we settled down. I always joke that we didn't plan to stay together. We just never broke up. It's been great. and I couldn't ask for a better husband. We will be celebrating our 13th anniversary in 2 weeks and 21 years together. Story 12. Divorced after 5 years. They decided they wanted to try being single as an adult because they never had been and initiated the divorce. Before it was finalized, they decided they had made a mistake and wanted to reconcile after realizing the grass was not greener. However, they had burned the bridge and I did not feel like working to rebuild it, so I had to take over getting the divorce finalized. We stayed on good terms for a couple of years as we moved in similar social circles until I moved away from the area. We stopped bumping into each other and having friends in common, and I have not been in contact since. Story 13. Great. We just celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary. We met in math class 9th grade in 2003. We were voted high school sweethearts in the yearbook as seniors. We are still madly in love, and I can't picture my life any other way. She is perfect. Story 14. We have been together since 2004 and married for 17 years. We have 2 children at home and are happier and stronger than ever. That being said, I do not recommend getting married at age 20. We had to learn and grow a lot together. Thankfully, we grew and changed in the same direction. If we had not, I am not sure our marriage would have survived. Story 15. It's going great. She is down the hall watching television while I work from home. It was not easy, though. We broke up after high school and went our separate ways, somehow thinking the magic we had together was normal. It was not. We both tried to live in the normal world, and it just never clicked. Years later, we ran across each other online and started talking, then long-distance dating, and we knew we had to be together. So we ran off and got married and have been building a world together for the last decade. Life is good. Story 16. Great. Met in 7th grade. Married 12 years so far with 1 awesome child. We have outlasted most other high school and college marriages since we live in the South, where there were many. Every time I see another divorce, I don't feel good, but I do feel validation that we're making it. He drives me crazy, but he's also my best friend and the only person who really understands me. I will say we broke up for a couple of years in college, and it was definitely the best thing for us. We grew as adults and moved beyond the high school mindset. I tried dating other people, but I compared everyone to him. It was the same for him. Eventually, we ended up at the same wedding back in our hometown, and the rest is history. Story 17. My cousin married his partner. They are still together in their early 50s. Both children are away at university. They go around like a couple of teenagers and go everywhere together. They have never lost that new relationship phase. Story 18. My parents are in their mid-70s and have been together since she was 15 and he was 16. I adore them. I can't imagine life without them and I don't want to. Story 19. Met him at 16, got married at 22, divorced 30 years later. The only good thing to come out of it was my children. He has had nothing to do with them for over 10 years. He remarried a few months after our divorce. I wasted many years with him. Would not recommend. Story 20. Both are 46 years old, married for 24 years, and have been together since we were 17. We have had some massive ups and downs, but we are completely each other's ride or die. I cannot imagine my life without him. He is my security blanket. Story 21. Met at 16, married at 18, 32 now and really happy. We are child-free by choice and have built a life we truly love together. Story 22. Married for almost 15 years, together for 17. We have been together longer than we have been apart in our lives. We have 2 children together, and she is my best friend. Life is good. I am living my dream right now and could not be happier. Story 23. 19 years together, 5 married, 2 children. It gets tough a lot, but still good. It is really unique to basically grow into adulthood with someone. Anyway, the children went away this week for a grandparents' vacation in the country, and we spent a lot of time together. So even that part can still be good this far in. Story 24. Good. Thanks for asking. We have had ups and downs, but we have been together for 17 years and married for 7 of them. We have 2 precious girls and a happy life together. Story 25. Fantastic. She is my best friend. We have been married for 11 years and friends for 19 years. She is my person. Now, it has not been all sunshine and rainbows. Marriage can get difficult, but it is all about working through challenges together. Even in the hardest times, she was always the person I wanted to tell about my day, and I was hers. Story 26. I almost qualify. I did not meet her until I was 19, so we missed high school, but we have been together 30 years and married 28 for a little over a month. I regret nothing. Story 27. I met my spouse first in the 7th grade. We were never high school sweethearts, just friends. We ended up getting together after college. We are still together with children and now grandchildren. Story 28. Going amazing. We have been together for 10 years, not just married, and have 2 beautiful children. She is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Story 29. So far, so good. Marrying your best friend is certainly a gift that keeps on giving. We have been married for 3 years but dated for nearly 10 years. Story 30. Wonderfully. While we did not marry until age 28, we have been together since high school. The hardest part was working through the immaturity and growing pains that come with leaving home. When other friends are dating new and interesting people, it is natural to wonder what it is like, and it is important to avoid resentment. The best things are that we share strong values because we have grown together. Our relationship has been a foundation for our lives instead of a capstone, and we have pushed each other toward more professional success than we would have had otherwise because I am willing to work harder for my family than for myself. I thank my lucky stars that I have never had to use dating applications. They seem hellish. Story 31. Met in 2003, married in 2011, weeks after college graduation. We grew together and changed a lot as people in our 20s, but were able to make our relationship work. I supported her through medical school, and now I get to be a stay-at-home dad to our 1st grader and 4-year-old. I could not imagine having gotten luckier than to marry such an amazing person. Story 32. Great. Met junior year of high school and started dating almost immediately. Coming up on 22 years together, married for 12. We are one and done with an 8-year-old gremlin. He is my best friend and we are still deeply in love. It has been hard though. We are vastly different people than we were at 16 or 18 or 20 or 26 when we got married or even 30. But we have been very lucky that each version of ourselves was compatible with the other person's evolution. Story 33. Amazing. I married my high school sweetheart. We have been together for 12 years and married for 2. Being able to grow up and experience life with your best friend is such a beautiful experience. You learn so much about yourself and your significant other. Going through new chapters like marriage, first puppy, buying a home, and career changes makes life interesting because you get to share both hard times and easy times together. It may sound simple, but it's truly amazing. Story 34. Good. We started dating when we were 16 but did not get married until we were 31. He needed to decide that he wanted children, and I wanted time living by myself. We have a small female child of his, complete with a surly attitude. I love them both so much. We are pretty happy. Any long-term relationship has ups and downs, strengths and weaknesses. We are in a nice stage right now where our child is more independent, so we get more alone time together. I am still obsessed with him after more than 30 years. He seems to like me too. 16-year-old me would be thrilled. Story 35. Amazing. Our first child is due any day now. I will say, we have both changed so much over the course of our relationship that it does not feel like I have been with the same person for these last 18 years. We have done a great job encouraging each other to grow however we see fit. Knowing those changes are what keep our relationship fun and interesting. Story 36. We recently celebrated our 2nd trip to Japan for our 10-year anniversary. We have been together for 17 years, since our sophomore year of high school. We have lived in 5 states together and worked together for a few years. We have no children and enjoy traveling. Life has been amazing overall. I cannot imagine it without her. Story 37. Middle school sweetheart. Not bad. Better in some areas than most, worse in others. 2 children and a farm. Going on 25 years. Story 38. My parents met in high school. They married at 22, have 3 children, and are now 47 years old. Tomorrow is their wedding anniversary. They are tired but happy, in love, and own a nice house. Story 39. I just attended the wedding of my nephew, who attended junior prom with his now wife. They dated in high school, broke up for about a year, then dated through college. They finally married at 25. They seem very well suited, and both families get along great. They just bought a house. So far, so good. Story 40. I don't know if this counts as the most stereotypical version of high school sweethearts since we went to different high schools, but we've been married for nearly 27 years now. We knew each other for about a year before I ever asked her out. It turns out we had mutual crushes during all that time, apparently from the first moment either of us saw each other. Sickening, I know. We've had our rough patches. 2 severely colicky babies will do that. But overall, we've had a very happy and smooth journey in life so far. Story 41. 10 years down. We have grown together and will continue to grow together until we grow old together. It has been a privilege. Story 42. Great. We stuck together because we grew together and continue to grow together. He is actually my other half, and life is fine alone but even better when we are together. 17 years together this fall. Story 43. I have 2 cousins who married their high school sweethearts. Both waited until after college to get married. The first cousin got divorced after a few years, and the second cousin is still married with 2 children. Story 44. Amazingly, we are celebrating 22 years together this year, including 12 years of marriage. We have 3 great children. It gets better every year. Story 45. A family member married their high school girlfriend. They started dating in their freshman year. They have been married for 10 years and have a couple of children, but they have been together for more than half their lives. They have had some significant rough patches over the years, especially in their early 20s, bad enough that I was sure they would not make it. However, they have always managed to pull through and come out stronger. Story 46. Technically freshman year of college, but we only lived 1 town over from each other. We have been together for 21 years and married for 16. We have 2 awesome children. We are doing pretty great. Story 47. 16 years together this September, and it is better than I could have ever asked for, in ways I could not even comprehend. Story 48. Divorced after 21 and a half years and 4 children. Now life is much better. The children are fine, and we both finally have more time for ourselves. I started a new life, and I love it. Story 49. Pretty amazing. We have been together for about 20 years and married for just over 11. 2 children and a great life that we are very fortunate to have. Story 50. I always see married high school sweethearts as like half spouses, half siblings. Not hating on it at all. They have a different bond because they grew up together. Story 51. We went to different colleges but made things work long distance. We married right after college and lasted 11 years. About half of that time was amazing. The other half was not so much. We divorced and are now co-parenting our dog. As far as divorce goes, it could have been a lot worse, but it still sucked. Story 52. My mother married the first man who impregnated her in high school. They celebrated their 41st wedding anniversary this past March. Story 53. The school system is slightly different here, but we met in school when I was 18. It has been 12 years, with 1 child and another arriving in September, and he is still my goofball. Story 54. Met my wife when we were both in high school. We have known each other since we were 12. We did not get together until we were 17, back in 2003. We are still together, got married in 2019, and have 4 cats. Still going strong. Story 55. My parents just reached 30 years of marriage. They have a complicated love and hate relationship. It seems like they dislike each other, but they strongly defend one another if someone else causes trouble. Story 56. Been married almost a decade now. There are high points and low points, but we get through everything together and are doing well. We are fundamentally different people, but we respect and love each other and get through it based on that. Story 57. My parents are almost 70 and we're high school sweethearts. They love each other but are world-class at petty complaining to and about each other to us kids. However, they are also very close and make each other laugh. The trick I learned as a teenager when they complained about one another was to say, "It's not too late to get divorced." My mother looked at me with horror and said, "I could never divorce your dad." Story 58. We got together in the 11th grade, have been together for the last 13 years, have one child, and a second on the way in 2 months. Story 59. Going perfectly. We just celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary, and we started dating 8 years before that. 23 years with no splits or fights. She is perfect, and it gets better every day. Story 60. Great. She is an awesome mother and we are closer than ever. I could not have a better partner to travel through space with on a floating rock. Story 61. We got together our senior year of high school and were even prom dates. We will celebrate 20 years together later this year and have been married for 13 years. I love him, am proud of him, and think it is adorable how cute he looks in a robe. I am still terribly affectionate and needy toward him. Return to office recently really disrupted our household, and I missed him being home terribly. He switched jobs, and it is so nice that he is back. I can give him quick kisses all day again between my meetings and work. We have minor issues, but I recognize how lucky we both are. Story 62. I didn't, but a good friend and her husband met at high school. He was in grade 12 and she was in grade 11. They just celebrated their 37th anniversary 2 days ago. They have 3 grown children and 2 grandchildren. They are still very happy. Story 63. My husband's parents started dating in high school. They are in their mid-80s now and have been married for 63 years. We had to put his father into memory care recently as he was entering the final stage of Alzheimer's disease. His mother spent a month in the hospital with a form of stress-induced cardiomyopathy known as broken heart syndrome, among other problems. The doctor told me that sometimes, when a couple is separated after being together for so long, their systems just break down in ways we can't explain. Story 64. We have been together since middle school and are going to get married next year after 12.5 years of being together. He is truly my best friend and the greatest man I have ever known. I could not be happier. Story 65. Not me, but my parents. They met in middle school, and my dad picked on my mom until one day she stood her ground and responded. I guess that is how she won him over. They got married right out of high school and had me, my younger brother, and various pets. They just celebrated 40 years last year. Story 66. 20 years together this year. Of course, we have had ups and downs, but overall a very stable relationship. We have spent many years maturing and learning healthy relationship skills together. I would not change a thing. Story 67. Got together at 15 and 17, married at 21 and 23. Now we are 28 and 30, not currently speaking and living apart due to infidelity and lack of growth and accountability on their part. But I started my own therapy journey. I have grown and flourished in ways I never really thought possible. So it's not fantastic, but I'm finally starting to come out the other side better than I've ever been. Story 68. Pinch myself every day. I really wish every human being could experience what it is like to find someone who is truly your best friend and have them in your life all the time. It is a privileged position to be in. Story 69. Divorced. We were not the same people we fell in love with. She will forever be one of the best friends I have ever had. Story 70. Not my high school sweetheart, but my high school crush. When I built up the courage to ask her out during our junior year, before I could ask, she told me she was dating someone else. I left it at that, never made a move, and we went separate ways. I bumped into her 10 years later, we reconnected, and I finally asked her out. We have now been married for 8 years with 2 kids. I would say it is going great. Story 71. 21 years and counting. 2 children and 1 grandson. I couldn't ask for a better partner. He is my best friend. The intimacy is still amazing too. Story 72. It was a fun ride of ups and downs through the 20s. We came out on the other side rather toxic, though, with very different goals. It was tough to grow so far apart. There was still a lot of love, but we did not really like each other. Story 73, 11 years together, married for 1 year so far. Buying a bigger house to have children soon. I would say it is going amazingly. We are both 28 and still in love. Story 74. Together since 2018, we just celebrated our first wedding anniversary. We are still doing well and growing together, not apart. Story 75. My husband and I are high school sweethearts. We have been married for 10 years and together for 17 years. We have definitely had many ups and downs. We almost divorced when our children were little but pushed through and are now closer than ever. He is my best friend and it has been an honor going through all the stages of life with him. Story 76. Met at ages 15 and 16. Dated through and after college. Married at 28 and 29. Now 37 and 38. More in love every day. Story 77. My best friend is still with him. He is a horrible person, but she does not know any different and is just afraid to leave him. Story 78. Feel like these are either really good or really bad responses. And it correlates to what I have seen from all the high school sweetheart marriages. Story 79. Lovely. Together almost 18 years now. We did long distance in college. I would be lying if I said there was no temptation or opportunities to break up and go other directions, probably more on my end than hers. That is the honest truth. My wife and I have talked about much of this, and I mean this in a very positive way, especially as you start to develop as people and mature emotionally. It was always a learning experience. From my friends who had good and bad relationships, I always wondered what that would have been like, and I am thankful I do not have to endure it. Story 80. We have been together since 2007 and married in 2014. We have 3 wonderful children, and we are still each other's best friends. It has not always been easy, but I am happy with how life has turned out. Story 81. 19 years together, 14 married. It is going amazingly. We balance each other out. He is the most annoying man I have ever met, and I still have such a huge crush on him. Story 82. A friend of mine married his high school sweetheart right after graduation. At the time, we thought he was crazy and advised him against it. Now that we are entering our 40s, they are probably the happiest couple I know. Story 83. It rules. We are still best friends, and it has been fun to watch us grow through the years in different directions but always stay in each other's orbits, if that makes sense. Story 84. We have been together for over 43 years and married for over 35 years. Both are retired and looking forward to the next chapter of life. Story 85. I guess we were more like middle school sweethearts. We started dating when we were 14, and that was 11 years ago. We have been married since we were 18. The beginning was rough financially, and we paid for gas with quarters and dimes, and lived in a really bad apartment. But aside from the initial financial struggles, it has been awesome, and I would not change a thing. We have both grown a lot and become quite different people from who we were back then, but in the best way possible. Story 86. My wife became a serial cheater early in our marriage. Since we had a toddler and a baby when I found out, and I was averse to divorce, we stayed married for 23 more years and had 2 more children. Just as I was preparing to divorce, I found my soulmate, my late wife of 24 years. Story 87. 9 years married this fall, together 17 years total. There is nothing better than spending every day with your best friend. Story 88. It will be 20 years together coming up next week. It has been a crazy, awesome ride with ups and downs, but mostly ups. I am so appreciative every day of him and our relationship. We work so well as a team and partners. We have just decided to start trying for a baby, and I am so excited for the next era in our lives and relationship. He is going to be an amazing dad. Many people ask if I feel like I missed out by marrying my high school sweetheart so young, but I truly do not. I feel lucky to have experienced so much with my best friend. The majority of my life's adventures so far have been with him, besides study abroad and trips with friends. I am ready for a million more. Story 89. My sister-in-law married her middle school sweetheart, and they are still together and happy 20 years after graduating high school with 8 children. Another friend has been married for 25 years since graduation, but I believe their relationship is a bit rocky due to some mental health struggles. Story 90. This November will be our 28th anniversary. We are happier than ever. 2 grown children, an old bulldog, a nice home, no complaints. Story 91. 13 years together and 5 years married this year. Ages 27 and 28. We have had some challenges, but that comes with growth in any relationship. He is still my favorite person to be around, and I cannot imagine life without him. Story 92. My wife and I met and started dating in high school, although I would not exactly call us high school sweethearts. We have been together for 12 years this year, married for 5, and our son just turned 1. So it is going pretty well. We have definitely had our ups and downs, but we love and support each other, and everything else works out after that. Story 93. My husband and I are college sweethearts. We met 5 months after I graduated from high school, so not quite high school sweethearts, but close enough. We have been together for 9 years now, and our life is incredible. We are so glad that we got to meet our person so young and settle down earlier in life. Story 94. We are planning an Alaskan cruise for our 20-year wedding anniversary. We married at 19 after dating all through high school, and now we are 38 and 39 years old, 6 months apart. We have 2 teenagers in high school. We love each other and our little family more than anything in the world. He is my best friend. I tell him all my secrets and work gossip, and he still flirts endlessly, making me laugh and feel beautiful and special. I still think he is the kindest, most handsome man in the world. I have no idea how I chose so well at 19, but I am glad I found him and never let him go. Story 95. No 2 children who started dating in middle school and are still together today. They have been together for about 30 years. Story 96. My best friend married her high school sweetheart. They have been together for 18 years, married for 8, and are very happy together. I have another acquaintance from high school who did not marry her high school sweetheart but has been with him for 19 years. Story 97. Amazing. Like anyone, we have our moments, but we still love each other very much. It has been amazing to grow up together. Many times I am in awe that it has been so many years. He is still the boy I met in the halls of a high school. Story 98. Well, it has been a while. I am disgusted. Yet he is the love of my life. Long live the therapist. Story 99. We have been together since 1992, married in 1998, with 3 amazing adult children. As a couple, we have been married for 27 years and are doing as well as ever. Story 100. Married 25 years with 4 children together, and more in love with him today than ever. It was not easy, though. We have been together since we were both 15 years old and are totally different people now than we were back then. We grew apart and struggled multiple times over the years, but never gave up and remained committed to working on our marriage and each other. He is truly the love of my life, and the person he is now is worth all of the hard things we went through in the earlier years. Story 101. My 2 high school friends went through college and moved across the country to be closer to his family. She dropped out of graduate school to support him. He cheated on her with a coworker. They divorced. My other 2 high school friends, I am not in contact with them anymore, but social media shows a successful mom and pop small business and about 4 children. Story 102. Ups and downs like any relationship, but overall awesome. We were 17 and 15 when we got together, and we are now 59 and 57. Story 103. For 14 years now, it has been going better than I ever thought it could. I went to college and she pursued her career. We grew up together, and the distance helped us become independent people. We got married 5 years ago. Now, we are finally going on the extravagant honeymoon we have always wanted. Story 104. Together for 13 years, married for 3, 2 kids and 1 on the way. It has been such a blessing growing older with the same partner. Story 105. I know a couple of high school couples who got married, and all of them are still together. One of them appears pretty happy with a group of kids. Another one also seems happy, but I don't trust it because the wife is known for frequently changing relationships and got back with this guy after a period involving drug use, stripping, being impregnated by a strip club bouncer, and single motherhood. But it's just social media and people can change, so I'm rooting for them because both were kind to me. The third couple I know of is a disastrous situation that baffles me. She caught him assaulting one of her bridesmaids the night before the wedding. He beat her when she confronted him. Then she went through with the wedding, supported him at trial, made up false accusations about her friend, had his child, and posts about them being happy while he is out on appeal waiting to finally go to jail. He is from a wealthy family in a small town, so the legal process has been dragged out. He barely received any sentence and is still fighting the case. He has always been a terrible person. Story 106. Obligatory not me but my parents. They started dating when they were 14 and 15. They just had their 35th wedding anniversary. They like to complain about how annoying the other is occasionally, but they are just as in love, if not more, now. Story 107. I am so impressed by everyone's experiences and how wonderful your futures have turned out. Yes, a few divorced, a few ups and downs, but mostly have stayed strong, and that is so rewarding. Thank you for sharing your life with me. I would love to answer everyone. If I don't, I want to say you all are wonderful and full of care. Story 108. Pretty good, honestly. I wish we had more money or lived in a country that was not run by fascist monsters, but our relationship has never been better. Story 109. Been together since we were 14 and 15. 35 years together. Married for 27. And he is still and always will be my person. Story 110. We have been together for 18 years, married for 12 with 2 children. We have good days and bad days, but we make a really good team. This is important because raising our children, ages 12 and 4, has been quite challenging as both are neurodivergent. Story 111. He was friend-zoned in high school, but we got together at 28 years old. We have known each other for 38 years and have been together for 27 years. He is an amazing husband. I couldn't hope for a better life with him and our 4 children. Story 112. Still living life with my best friend. We started dating in 2006 and got married in 2010 when I was 19 and he had just turned 21. He joined the army right before I graduated high school and was deployed to Iraq and Kuwait 4 months after we got married. We enjoyed time just the 2 of us, and our daughter was born in 2018. We have been through a lot with the military, school, and jobs, but we pushed through it, and I would not have it any other way. Story 113. Been married for 15 years now, together for 26 years in total, and still very much madly in love with each other. Story 114. Together for 27 years and counting. Granted, we waited until our mid-20s to actually marry and late 20s before we had children. Our love just keeps getting better. Story 115. Rough. I still love her, and she gave me a wonderful young boy whom we are raising well together. She is unfortunately diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and that makes life very difficult. While many people may express it differently, she expresses it by spending money behind my back. It hurts intensely to see that you worked for weeks only to see the bank account barely in the positive. We have fought over it. She went to therapy, and we tried hard to make it better. But today I found out that she again spent 4,000 euros. I don't know what to do anymore. I hate that I love her so much at this moment. Story 116. 13 years together, still going strong apart from the typical bickering about who is doing which chores that day. Story 117. We are doing very well. Married 8 years, together almost 16. We have 2 children, and our careers are going great. Every day brings its own challenges, and children make everything more stressful. Arguments and disagreements happen, but we learned early how to communicate and express ourselves in constructive ways. We are always making each other better as individuals, partners, and parents. I love you, and I always will. Story 118. My friend's sister married her high school sweetheart. On social media, they seem madly in love and happy. However, he has cheated multiple times and never helps her with the children. The children are unruly because their mother is burnt out. She is afraid to leave because it is all she knows. Story 119. I met my husband and dated him briefly in high school. We met again 2 years later and have been together ever since, approximately 18 years. I think we are doing well. We have 3 children. We have our ups and downs, but so far we are still together, and I can see myself growing old with him. Story 120. Well, we almost were married, but not quite. We would have married if we lived closer. We knew each other nearly 10 years, dated officially for 3, and had plans to marry and be life partners for all 9 of those years, though we dated other people during that time. We met when I was 14, and things ended when I was 23. She had a sex and pornography addiction that ended our relationship as she kept cheating, and our attempts to reconcile were met with half-hearted responses from her. She eventually ended things because she did not want the life we had decided on anymore, and I think she met someone else, but I will never really know. It was for the best because by the time things ended, I hated her. I still do. I realized at one point that she was the exact same person I fell in love with at 14, when I was willing to overlook flaws, selfishness, lack of ambition, not knowing what you want, and cruelty. On the other hand, I grew up and stopped being a doormat. Now she is dating women with low self-esteem who will tolerate her behavior and her philandering, and I am feeling my way through dating again. Story 121. I did, and then he changed. He cheated on me early in our marriage while dealing with a severe drug and alcohol addiction. I chose to stay, and he chose to heal. We now have a beautiful life and family as middle-aged adults. Everyone's life is not always perfect or storybook all the way through, but despite the pain I have experienced, I absolutely love and am thankful for my husband, my life, and who he has become as he has healed, grown, and matured into the man who leads our family today. Story 122. Almost 10 years and counting, we have a daughter, and we will have our church wedding this November. Where I live, civil and religious ceremonies are separate. Story 123. Coming up on 7 years of marriage, we have been together over 15 years. We just had our 3rd baby. I feel lucky in many ways because it has always felt like we figured things out ahead of our peers and have been a great team, which has made us fairly successful. Story 124. Coming up on 20 years together. We met when we were 15 and 16 and have been together ever since with no breaks. There are certainly challenges, just like any other relationship. But for the most part, we are solid. The hardest thing is that you are bound to grow and change over time. We are lucky that we are mostly growing in the same direction. We have both changed but still like each other. I do wonder if we had met later in life, would we have still chosen each other? Story 125. It has its ups and downs, but right now we are at an all-time high, much more than when we first fell in love. We have been together 12 years and married 9. She is 30 and I am 29. Story 126. Phenomenally. Pretty much the only thing in my life I have never second-guessed. I am coming up on 6 years of marriage this year. My spouse's parents are also high school sweethearts and are still together today. Story 127. Pretty well. I'm writing this while putting our 1-year-old daughter to sleep in the apartment we bought together. He is the love of my life. We met for the first time 4 months before the end of senior year and got together in time for prom. Then we were long distance for a year while I was in an exchange program and he started university. We broke up after I got back. I broke up with him, not proud of it. We went our separate ways and met again 4 years later thanks to some mutual friends we kept from high school. 3 months later, we were together again. This was in 2012, and we have been together ever since. Story 128. Not high school, but college. Met when we were sophomores. Been together for 30 years. Married for 22. One great child. Still going strong. Story 129. Started dating at 15, now mid-30s. Got married at 21 and shortly thereafter had our first child. A couple more children, homes, jobs, degrees, and losses later. We grow closer every day. We are codependent and affectionate, and I would not change a thing about my nearly perfect life. Story 130. We have been together for 23 years now. We went through a really rough patch about 10 years ago, but we got through it. I sometimes wonder what I have missed out on, and I am sure she has moments like that too. But I still genuinely love her more than anyone on earth, and I do not think I could get through this life without her. Story 131. We have been together since I was 15 and married now for almost 37 years. It is definitely work, but it is a choice to choose each other every day. Story 132. My youngest sister married her high school sweetheart after being together for 9 years. They seem really happy and well suited for each other, and I really like the man she chose. I am happy for them. Story 133. 30 years together. 5 amazing children. I absolutely love my life and tell my husband often. We are still crazy about each other. 2 children left at home, and we definitely will not be empty nesters who have lost themselves. There is so much to do and so little time. Story 134. We just got married 2 days ago after 13 years together. The wedding was the best day of my life. I love every little thing about our life together. Story 135. I have known him since we were 6 months and 1 year old. We got married last weekend at ages 21 and 22. I love him more every day. Story 136. Been together for 15 years and married for 3. We have 2 children and are still very passionate and laughing a lot, so I say it is still going pretty well. Story 137. Started dating at 17, me, and 16, her. And we decided to get married at 19 and face adulthood together. We knew we did not want children at all. She asked me out since I was oblivious. We have been married over 14 years now. She is an amazing woman who has written and published over 30 novels, has a tea business she created, is an academic and technical writer, and is now exploring art. She is really kind and generous. We are not perfect, but we have a lot of fun and are very nerdy. So our house looks like a mini comic convention. Story 138. Not high school sweetheart, but started dating sophomore year in college. We got married a year after graduation. We just celebrated our 19th anniversary. Story 139. I went to preschool with my wife. We were friends in high school but never dated. We started dating the summer after high school graduation. We have been together for 20 years and married for 13 of them. We have 4 children. Life is good. Story 140. Been together since 2007, married in 2013, moved abroad, traveled to over 70 countries, and had our first baby this year. Life has never been better. He is an amazing father. Story 141. We met in 2005, dated for 10 months and were as inseparable as you could be in high school. Stayed in vague contact over the years, got married, had families, he had stepchildren, and then left those marriages in 2018 and 2019. Found each other in 2020 and rekindled our friendship fully. We started dating at the end of 2021, had our son in 2023, and will be getting married soon. He is my best friend. We spend almost every chance we get together, and the spark is there every day. My daughter adores him and has started calling him dad. So I would say it's going great. Story 142. We were not high school sweethearts, but we're good friends. We even grew up in the same neighborhood. We have been in each other's lives longer than we have been apart. We met in 2004, started dating in 2010, married in 2019, and have 2 children. Story 143. Not me, but my parents. They met when they were 13 and 15 years old, married at 16 and 18 years old. They are still married 46 years later, and I think they are forever stunted teenagers. Their relationship is incredibly toxic and codependent. It took years of therapy for me to realize how my own issues with love and commitment were affected by their marriage. To anyone who stays married for the kids, please don't. Story 144. Filing for divorce as soon as the house sells next week. I put in the entire down payment, and divorcing first would have meant a 50-50 split. Should have left a few failures to launch earlier. Everyone always says do not fall in love with potential, but when you are 16, what else is there to fall for? Story 145. It is going pretty well. We have been married almost 20 years. We have 3 children, a dog, a cat, and fish, and live in the suburbs. We still love each other and are active participants in our marriage. We are still best friends. Story 146. She cheated a lot, sexually assaulted me, and left me with nothing after 15 years. I genuinely believe that anything that happens to her now is too good for her. Story 147. 22 years in October. Two grown children. Some struggles early on, but we have grown together and figured it out. Would not change it for the world. Story 148. Mostly happy. There are ups and downs. Relationships take work. Glad to say we are still working on ours. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.